Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of This Week in Rewards right here on the RWRDS Canada YouTube channel. This week we're covering July 29th to August 4th, 2023. Relatively quiet week as we head into the August long weekend for most of Canada. So there wasn't a lot that we covered on the site, but the things we did cover were pretty significant. So we're going to start with the first one, which is a new feature which we put on the site, and it was the best credit cards to use at Empire Company Limited grocery stores. So this is Sobeys, Safeway, Freshco, Foodland, IGA, and several others across Canada. This came as a request from one of our readers who saw our best credit cards to use at Loblaw and asked for, Scene Plus / Safeway card, like Empire and Sobeys and all that, and which cards would be best to use there. Where do I start? Sobeys, one of Canada's largest grocery chains, hundreds of stores coast to coast. They've been part of the Scene Plus program for better part of a year now, or very close to a year since they launched. And now, as of early this year, they were across all of Canada in all stores because it was a kind of a structured launch by region. And so the question is basically, what are the best cards to use at Sobeys, Safeway, IGA, Freshco? I'm not going to list them all here, but all of those places, and that's what we go to in this feature. So what we have is, we go into it and list 10 cards for a large amount of spending, which is basically a family of four, and we take, a predicted amount of what a family of four would spend, which is just over $16,000 Canadian, and we apply that to the cards to see what kind of value they will provide in return. And this is a little bit different than our Loblaw's one, because Loblaw we just focus on cash back because we were kind of comparing the whole Loblaw thing to the PC Optimum cards, which basically are a cash back card. Even though you just redeem at the PC points at their stores, but it basically works to cash back. This is a little bit different because Scene Plus contains travel and other redemption options, so we took that into account as well. And with travel rewards still being the most popular in Canada, definitely you can tell by the traffic to our site and what people want us to write about and what people ask us about still comes to travel. So that's where we look at this. And this is like the number one card for that spending, for that $16,000 plus of spending, is the Scotia Gold American Express card. So this is different than Loblaw's again, where PC Optimum was not the best card, like the PC financial cards was not the best cards to use at Loblaw's. In this case, the Scene Plus card, in most cases, are the best to use. Well, at least the Scotia Gold American Express card, I should say. So their own card is the best to use. You can see that in this piece, we'll put in the value, the travel value, cashback value. Where it comes down a bit for, like, say, the Scene Plus cards is their actual statement credit cashback value, because that's a reduced redemption amount. But if you use it for cashback at Scene Plus partners like Sobeys, Safeway, Home Hardware, which just launched just earlier this week in Atlantic Canada with Scene Plus, you're getting a great return there. And so we kind of average, I kind of struggled with what is the best card. Technically, I would say this is for most Canadians, but for some of us, the Amex American Express Cobalt card will be better because it can provide a higher travel value when using American Express's fixed point for travel, or by converting those points to Air Canada Aeroplan, Air France KLM, British Airways, those type of things. It can provide like value that just kills all the other cards on this list, like beyond, like even there's no comparison. But those are some kind of more specific redemptions where not all Canadians are going to use those. So that's why I struggled, but I figured the Scotia Gold American Express card overall for the most Canadians is the best card to be using at Empire stores because it earns the most points. It earns 6 points per dollar at these stores, and when you redeem it for cash back at those stores or Scene Plus partners or in travel, you're getting a 6% return. This compares to the Amex Cobalt card's 5% return if we're going to take like the exact redemption comparing apples to apples. But I think for a lot of our readers and viewers, you're not going to be surprised that the top three cards in this high spend level are the points earning machines. If you can go back, or I'll put a link to the video below. You have your American Express Cobalt card, Scotiabank Gold American Express card, and MBNA Rewards World Elite. These are all 5 or more points earning cards for groceries, and basically untouchable when you do spend more with these credit cards at grocery stores across Canada, and not just at Empire stores. The MBNA is the only one you can use at Loblaw. It is the best card to use at Loblaw stores for the higher spend. So that's why these three cards are the pick of the litter if you want to earn the most points possible on your groceries. You won't go wrong with any of those three. Then we also put up a comparison. I don't have a graphic here of it, of the low spend. So I was looking at something like $500 a month. So for a single person or maybe a couple who can get by on $500 a month of groceries, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, Scotiabank Gold American Express card, even with its annual fee, still comes in first spot for that. So it is, generally speaking, it is the best card to use at Sobeys and Safeway in those stores. Again, though, the Cobalt card in this category, if you redeem for those better travel reward options, will blow these other cards out of the water. But again, I'm just kind of trying to generalize this for the majority of Canadians, and that's why you kind of also have to do your own kind of research as well and run the numbers and see what type of rewards you want. If you are somebody who converts to Aeroplan, Air France, British Airways, those type of things, Cobalt card number one. Don't go for any other card. But if you're not looking for those conversion options, and if you don't think you can pull the full value out of Amex's fixed points for travel, then the Scotiabank Gold American Express card is an excellent option, very good option. Same with the MBNA Rewards World Elite card. Where the World Elite struggles a little bit is that you have to book travel through MBNA Rewards. Not a huge deal for a lot of people, but just be aware of that. And then also, if you're looking for more just cash back, the Cobalt card has better cash back rates than the Scotiabank Gold American Express card or MBNA. With a little star on the asterisk on the side there, in that the Scotiabank Gold American Express card, if you're using for cash back at Scene Plus stores, you're going to get better value than Cobalt. So hopefully our piece, when you go over it, this will help explain everything and show everything and kind of give you a right idea of what cards are good to use there. In that low spend too, you see BMO cashback cards break into those lists, and a lot of people list the BMO cashback cards as the best grocery cards in Canada. And it's true to some point when it's low spending because they have $500 per month caps. That's for an individual, you can go get by on that, maybe a couple, but I have a hard time seeing many more or people only spending that much. If you have 3 people in your family, 4 people, I know in my family we probably spend that much in a week. So I'd be, hitting that cap in 1 week on the BMO cards and not being able to earn anymore. It'd be earning 1% instead of, 5% or 3%, whatever those cards are earning. So take that into account as well. And those are the best cards to use at Sobeys. I'll put a link in the description below, as we always do on our weekly newscasts here. So the next thing we have are the Air France KLM Promo Rewards that came out for August. And again, amazing deals. Like this program I've been saying it's been a year now, since August of last year, is the best program for flying transatlantic from Canada to Europe in economy class. Nobody touches it, especially when you combine it with like American Express or even the Air France MasterCard. The redemption rates are great. They start at 15,000 miles one way out of Montreal and Toronto to Europe. But then when you have the promo rewards like we do now, where they're 25% off, you can get those flights at 11,250 miles each direction. And here's a round trip. Only 22,500 miles round trip economy class between Montreal and Paris, plus just under $300 in fees. Like, that's just stupid good. Like, nothing comes close to this. I guess the closest is British Airways. You can go 26,000 Avios to the UK or Ireland. Ireland's the good one, of course, because the fees are less. To the UK, the fees are going to be crazy. So in terms of averaging it out across the amount of miles you need and the amount of money you're going to spend for fees, there's no touching this. If you've read on my posts, sorry, I'm kind of stuttering here. I apologize for that. But if you've read my posts, these redemptions are great. I know one of our readers, I'm sure more of our readers have, but Andre was one who came to me who gives us a lot of Cobalt multipliers. He was saying he was in Ireland thanks to the last time they offered this discount on economy class. He went through Paris. I think he went Montreal to Paris to Dublin on one of these very cheap reward flights. And I mean, again, and it ties into that Cobalt card that we were just talking about, at the best cards to use at Sobeys. $6,000 spending at 5 points per dollar gets you 30,000 membership rewards points, they convert 1 to 3/4 of a Flying Blue mile, so that would give you the 22,500 that you need right for this. 30,000 membership rewards points, $6,000 in spending. Again, untouchable. Nothing comes close. No other program will get you a flight to Europe, round trip flight to Europe for $6,000 in spending. In fact, a lot of them will be 10 times that. Yes, 10 times that. It's just crazy. Like it's such a good deal. I hope it lasts for a long time. I mean, Air France told us last year that this 15,000 miles one way is their new set minimum. It's not a limited time thing. It's their permanent. I mean, they said permanent. I will never use permanent with a frequent flyer program because that's there's always going to be devaluations and changes to things and things like that. But yeah, ultimately, just such an amazing deal if you're in the Montreal area. This it's Montreal. Oh, I don't think I even mentioned that. It's Montreal to Europe and also Quebec City, Europe. I could not find any availability out of Quebec City though, because there's only several flights per week, and that flight ends here in October. But their availability does change quite frequently, so maybe something will come up if you're based in Quebec City and want to fly to Europe on these things. I also double checked with Air France, and they came back to me about booking promo rewards with stopovers, because technically speaking, promo rewards are only supposed to be booked online, and their free stopover program has to be booked by phone. Well, they came back to me and confirmed, yes, you can book stopovers on promo rewards, which makes this deal even better. So if you can find, say, 11,250 miles to Rome, you can get a free stopover in Paris. What they told me is that it has to be the same availability on your whole trip. So most promo rewards in economy are booked in G class. So you would have to have G class from Montreal to Paris and then Paris to Rome. As long as you can get that, you'll be able to do it. No problem for stopovers, but since stopovers are offline, you have to call in for them. You have to call in to book your promo rewards. So here's where the thing goes. So online, they say you have to book it online. You don't have to book promo rewards online. You can call in and book them, but if it's just a regular trip that doesn't need stopovers, you're gonna have to pay the over the phone booking fee. But because stopovers can't be booked online, they waive that fee. So there's a little tip for you. So if you call in and you book that Montreal to Rome flight with a stopover in Paris, or say Amsterdam if you're going KLM or whatever, you don't have to pay the fee because the stopovers, you can't book them as online yet. So I assume once they allow it online, you will have to start paying the fee if you call it in. So that is the Air France KLM Flying Blue promo rewards for August. 25% off economy class out of Montreal and Quebec City to Europe, Turkey, North Africa. I checked some of the, Morocco, Tunisia. I couldn't find availability for North Africa this time. So again, maybe it will work out if some of you guys are looking for those locations, because those tend to be a real great deal. But actually, I'll put the link to the post too, because the Paris offer I just put up on the screen there, that was giving over 5 cents per mile, and that's economy class. 5 cents per mile is typically what you see for a business class redemption. So just, again, crazy good deal with this month's Air France KLM Promo Rewards. If you have your eye on travel to Europe over the fall, or even over the winter, because this is going through to March 31st, 2024, check these offers out. It is a really good deal. Now we go to the next bit of news. I'll just put the little thing up here for Avion Rewards. We've covered this a bit. This will be really quick. Avion Select, covered it already for a couple months now. Had it in our This Week in Rewards as well. It was officially launched this week. RBC sent out the press release on August 1st to say it is officially there. Basically nothing new that we don't know yet. It's cashback program as it stands. It's open to all Canadians, not just RBC clients. We know that points earning will be coming in September. We're still waiting. It's been a couple weeks of going back and forth to see whether points can be transferred from Avion Select to Avion Premium or Avion Elite. Terms and conditions that are launching on September 7th specifically say they cannot, but RBC's media agency told me they can. So there's some back and forth going there. And I was actually supposed to have an interview with a senior VP from RBC about Avion Select, and that's been pushed back because they need to work on some things still with the program. So I'm wondering if that's what they're working on. We'll wait and see. As soon as I know, I will let you guys know. If I'm allowed to publicly say stuff about it, I will. Hopefully I'll have that interview next week with the RBC brass there for sure. So that's just something little that Avion Select has officially launched. But I mean, if you've been following Rewards Canada since June at least, you'll already know this and probably have joined if you were not already an Avion Rewards member. And the last thing we'll cover this week, this is probably the biggest news item, because I consider promo rewards, kind of a bonus offer type thing, because it's a discount offer or whatever. But the biggest news this week was it just came out yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, August 2nd, and that is Neo Financial is going to be the provider of Cathay Pacific credit cards. I was going to say Cathay Pacific Asia Miles, but the program is actually just called Cathay now. So they will be the new co-brand provider. I'm not going to say they issue the cards, because actually Neo does not issue credit cards. They do that through ATB. But they are the provider of the Cathay Pacific co-brand cards as of this fall. They have taken that over from RBC. I mean, the RBC one you can still apply for, I think, right now, but that won't be for too much longer, as this fall we will get the new Cathay Pacific credit card from Neo. This card will, actually there's going to be two versions, the unsecured, which will be your primary card, and then the secured version, so you can use secured funds, which is perfect for new Canadians without credit, or people who may have bad credit who want to start earning rewards. Neo is generating rewards in this space. No other issuer offered rewards on secured cards until Neo started doing so, and then they did it with the Tim's card, and now they're going to do it with the Cathay Pacific card. And I would not be surprised if they have any co-brand cards in the future, they'll do it as well. It's such an untapped space to do a rewards earning secured credit card, and Neo's doing that. So take heed, other issuers, watch out for that space. If you are, I know a lot of banks are really now starting to push this whole new Canadian thing. And if these people do their research, if the new Canadians are doing their research and they can see they can get rewards on their secured cards, then watch out, because Neo's gonna take over that space for sure. But anyway, so had an interview today with Andrew, the CEO of Neo. Didn't really find out too much more than what they've already released in terms of in the press release, or what we have in our blog post. Things like the earn rates, which are here. But he was super excited. This seems like such a good step for them and for Cathay Pacific, because honestly, the RBC issued one, to me, seemed ignored by RBC. Very little was out there in terms of the Cathay Pacific card from RBC. Same kind of goes for the British Airways card. I mean, RBC, of course, they have their proprietary products. The Avion products have been huge for them, and for probably almost 2 decades now. We're getting close to 2 decades on that card, that it has just been, that's their bread and butter. So, it's tougher to focus on these other ones. And I mean, WestJet's been a pretty big push for them as well. But, let me take the earn rates off. I'll talk about that in a little bit here. WestJet's big for them because WestJet's a Canadian program. We've seen time and time again, it's tough for Canadian program, or flubbing my words here. It's tough for non-Canadian programs to make a go of it in Canada. Delta's tried, like Delta Airlines, American Airlines has tried, ISG hotels, Choice Hotels. We just lost Best Western. Alaska is done. Almost every non-Canadian program has, I don't want to say failed here, but just has failed to make a dent or a big enough impact where they last. I mean, there's a few outliers, which is, of course, British Airways with RBC, and Marriott with their cards. I mean, Marriott's just such a huge program, and they have the most hotels in Canada anyway, so that kind of makes sense for them. And there's not too many others. I mean, you have Cathay Pacific, Air France KLM came into the market a year ago, so fingers crossed things work for them. I mean, the good thing is with the Brims and the Neos, that these partnerships should not be as expensive for the co-brands. So for like the Air France's and the Cathay Pacifics, it should make much more financial sense being partnered with companies like this than trying to have a go with it with RBC, TD, those type of banks, because I'm wager it's a lot more expensive to be with the big five. So anyways, let's get back to this new Cathay Pacific card, we know it's going to be issued, or not issued, sorry, I shouldn't say that word. It's going to be provided by Neo. It's going to launch this fall. You can join the wait list right now. We'll put the link below to our blog post, which will have a link to the wait list. It's going to earn 1 Asia mile for every dollar spent on purchases in Canada, 2 for every dollar spent with Cathay Pacific on their flights, 2 Asia miles for purchases outside of Canada. So those are all very similar to what the RBC card currently offered, but then it's kind of like upwards of 5 times Asia miles at Neo partners. So if you have a Neo card right now earning cash back, you would know that you earn extra cash back at a lot of their merchant partners. They're over 11,000 partners now, and they have various offers, first time purchase, 10th purchase. They have varying earn amounts, so you can earn some extra Asia miles that way, and that might turn out to be very lucrative. The card itself also will come with a welcome bonus of up to 45,000 miles once you meet the spending requirements on it when it comes out. It hasn't been confirmed, but I think based on the terms and conditions, it's going to be a World Elite MasterCard. I think we'll know that. And the reason why is because in the terms and conditions, it does state that minimum income requirements are 80,000 personal, 150,000 household. So that would mean that's the same requirements as a World Elite card. So we will assume at this point, although it's not confirmed, that it's going to be a World Elite MasterCard, which would make sense because they're also telling us that it's going to offer free global Wi-Fi, in-flight Wi-Fi on certain airlines, lounge access, and those are all things that come with a World Elite card. So that's what we know now. I asked a few questions beyond these things to Andrew at Neo. There's nothing that he can divulge just yet. They're still also hammering out some of the things before the launch this fall. So right now the best thing is to get on the wait list. The only details they are revealing is basically everything that you would have seen in the press release or on the Cathay landing, or the Neo card, Cathay card landing page. Beyond that, there's nothing we can tell you more. But over the months, Andrew did tell me that over the coming months, more details will be revealed. So as soon as we get those, we'll let you know about those for sure. Yeah, and that's all she wrote for this week. Like I said, another short week. Well, not a short week. I mean, it's a full 5-day week, but because there's a long weekend coming up, I think the news and offers were kind of limited. I mean, there's a lot of bonuses. Start of the month always has tons of bonuses, so be sure to check out the blog for all the new bonus offers from airlines, hotels, car rentals, you name it. I think we're going to see some new credit card offers come out next week, some changes to some cards. I just got an email just before I started recording this. And then also we'll start covering, there's going to be a few card offers that are ending at the end of this month that really you should have if you've had your eye on, you might want to consider getting those cards. And I'll probably cover those in next week's episode. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. If you don't subscribe to our channel yet, please do so. It helps us out. And then you can also hit that little notification bell so you can learn when we post all these new videos. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great long weekend, everybody.